We're live.
Right, we are live. So, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are on the globe. I know we've got people who are east of us. I know we've got people who are west of us. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and I am hosting this panel, this show. And with me, I've got Dwayne and Nick, two awesome business wizards, come from very different sectors, different spaces. I'm glad to have they're busy guys. They get emails in live streams. It's cool. I'm glad to have them with me because they're both really nice guys, really good at what they do, and they also happen to like comic books and the whole geek scene. But I'm not sure if I should use the word geek because it's something we discussed previously when we're kind of preparing and do stuff for this. The word geek, offensive, not offensive?
I'm not offended by it.
Neither am I. But it's open to debate, though. Let the viewers decide.
Okay, that's fair enough. And I really apologize. I realize I've kind of waffled on a little bit, and I actually haven't done introductions. So, Nick, you've been on live with me before. Thank you for returning. But Dwayne, this is your first ever LinkedIn live, right? This is the first time.
Yeah. Try not to freak out. I'm trying not to freak out. I'm trying to be calm.
Well, let's start with the basics. If you could tell everyone who you are, where you're from, what you do, and why you do it. There we go. Let's go for that.
I feel like I'm on blind date. Hi everyone, Dwayne Brathwaite, and I'm from Croydon. Woo! Okay, that was really rubbish. But yeah. Did anyone watch Blind Date? Is it just me? So yeah, my name is Brathwaite. I'm Croydon in Surrey, or some people say South London or Dirty South. And I work for research and development consulting, and I work in business development, basically.
Awesome. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Nick, would you mind reintroducing yourself as well? That'd be lovely and fantastic.
Yes, I'm Nick Smethurst. I'm on LinkedIn all the time, and I'm from Manchester, and I'm currently in Reading, where I'm working away from home, which I do several days a week. And it's about all everybody needs to know, I think, isn't it?
Okay, fair enough. Well, there's another thing people need to know. Shout out to David Proud, who's actually watching this. He wears the word geek as a badge of honor. So yeah, thanks, David. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. And having spoken to you several number of times, I know for a fact you are a geek, but it's in a good thing. It's a good way. So yeah, thanks. All right. First question. If you had to pick a superhero to be your boss, who would it be and why?
I'll go first, if I can.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Straight away, I thought about Professor Xavier, and the reason why is because I'd get him to go into Cerebro, and I would say, find me leads. Find me leads.
So you'd have Professor X abuse his powers maliciously so you could be better at sales.
Well, not exactly, but yes, exactly. He would know exactly where to go. Dwayne, you're over there. They're thinking about it. Go speak to them. Boom.
Just get him to tell them to buy. You will all buy from Dwayne. He is amazing. That's what you need to do.
Then it'll be like P45, but actually don't need you, Dwayne. Do this myself.
Okay, fair point.
So I know that Nick is a fan of kind of anti-heroes. So I remember last time we spoke, right? He said he's not a huge fan of Superman. He prefers Batman. And I think that was a very Batman-esque answer to your response. Dwayne, do you have a favorite superhero?
Yeah, I do.
And who is it?
It's actually Wolverine.
Ah, okay. Because what I was going to try and do, I thought you were going to say someone really like kind of pink and fluffy and vanilla, and they'd be like, you can see that their superhero choices reflect their personalities, but Wolverine is perhaps more brutal and direct than Batman.
Yeah, it was a toss up between the two, but it has to be Wolverine. It has to be.
Who do you think would win in a fight?
Wolverine.
Yeah.
If it was a fair fight, I would agree. If gadgets are involved,
yeah. If they got dropped in a pit,
yeah,
Wolverine. But with Batman
dropped in a pit with a microchip.
Yeah, if they planned it, Batman would have some kind of contingency where he'd win. But if it was just like they bumped into each other on the street, Batman's not going to win, I don't think.
No,
I agree.
Sorry, not a very businessy question. Okay, next one. which supervillain, Marvel, DC, or other, do you think will be best in business?
Are we both answering?
Either or you can decline to answer. You can be like, no comment. You can stonewall me if you want. Like,
so which superhero would be best in business?
Supervillain.
Right. Well, it's got to be like Norman Osborn or something, right?
Because he's already a businessman.
Well, he's already got the ruthless thing going on, right? He's got the money going on. He's an industry leader. He's an influencer. I would suggest all of these business terminologies that I see in Spider-Man regularly would make him an excellent leader of industry, in my opinion.
Cool. No, you're right. See, for me, I was thinking the Kingpin. I mean, yeah. I know he's corrupt, but he's got some savviness about him.
Yeah, but he's not the same scale as Osborn. Oscorp. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Oscorp is like Microsoft, right? It's global. You're
right. And sorry, Dwayne, did you say Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor.
Luthor. Okay, so fair enough. You guys have picked supervillains that are actually businessmen anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's on me. I asked you guys quite a silly question, forgetting that there are supervillains that are already pretty savvy in business. So that's on me, for shame.
If I was thinking outside the box, I probably would say Darkseid. I don't have the perfect rationale as to why, but I just think he's just ruthless. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think what business he would be best at. But
I've noticed you both said ruthless. Do you think that is a trait that you need in business?
I think most very senior leaders have to. Because I don't necessarily think we call it ruthless. I don't think it's necessarily always a bad trait. I think you have to make very, very difficult decisions about people's jobs and lives, don't you? You have to have that streak in order to be able to lead a large business. That has to happen. So yeah, I think it's probably critical.
So perhaps maybe shrewdness, not ruthlessness.
I don't know. I think ruthless is. I've heard it used in a positive manner before. He's ruthless. He is willing to make the tough decision that others won't.
Okay. Going on that strain, in Marvel you've got organizations like Hydra, and in DC you've got organizations like Hive. And this is one of the crazy things that go through my mind, right? Like, obviously, if you're a super or mega villain, you're bad, right? And you're running these shows. But often in the comic books, the cartoons, they've got like, drone worker A or B he hasn't got a name, right? They're just like, they're on there. Do you think if organizations like Hydra and Hive were real, do you think if you're working for them or not?
Do you think you'd know?
Yeah. Do you think like if you were like a ground level employee, you don't realize that the people that own it are like the Legion of Doom and all that kind of stuff. And you turn up to work, you do your job, and then something like Batman comes busting, and you'd be like, "What? I didn't realize." Like, do you think you'd know if you were?
You would know.
You've got it, because like they've all got green outfits and cobra eyes on. It's got to be a giveaway as a uniform, right?
No. I mean, I get that, like in the traditional comic books, but like in the more modern comic books, right? So it's like, they make a grey area, don't they? And you see people like just doing regular jobs. So they'll be like in business development roles, they'll be in sales roles, not realizing that actually they're fueling an empire of doom.
Yeah. I reckon you'd know, because I reckon your name back to say Cobra Creator or Cobra Design. It'd say, "Hi, I'm a Cobra creator. I'm new but happy to help," but you'd know. You kind of know.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah. Also, when you get when I say the benefits, you got to drop that Hell Hydra. Like yeah. You can't not know. Like when you're in the Hydra organization, it's like when you want them discounts, it's like can I get Anyway, I mean, I don't want to take it too.
No.
And also, imagine the training, going to your induction training. It'd be like, "We will rule the world. We will take over minds. We will overpower people." That's going to be an indicator as well when you rock up, right? Yeah. Like your induction training day when they're going, "Are you willing to kill people? you know, and stuff like that. And you're going, well, it's not what I did in my old job, but you know, what are the perks? So.
Oh, another comment from David Proud reminds me of the Death Star contractor conversation in Clerks. Have you guys seen that movie, by the way?
No, I was thinking Death Star Cantina scene.
No. So like, okay, there's a Kevin Smith, famous director, comic book geek. He has a series of films, including Dogma, by the way, Nick, which I know you will know because you love Salma Hayek. Yeah. Okay, so he does lots of kind of nerdy, geeky films, and there's a film he's done called Clerks. I think it's one of his earliest films, and there's two characters in the show, and they have a conversation. It's about 3 or 4 minutes long, and they ask, do the contractors who built the second Death Star know they were working on the Death Star? And have a very deep, meaningful conversation on like the morals and ethics of working for corrupt companies. So I think that's the point David's making. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right, definitely.
You summarized it beautifully.
Thanks, man. All right. Trying to think. How do we segue into the next question? We're not going to. I'm just going to ask it. All right. Yeah. Super speed or super intelligence? What would be more useful in your role or your respective roles, and why?
Go on, you go first, Dwayne.
I would say super speed. Like I procrastinate quite a lot. So if I could put some speed on that, I would get things done a lot quicker. My admin, salespeople hate admin, but it's essential to the role. If I had super speed, I would get the admin done quick, out the way. Also super speed, I could get to meetings a lot quicker. Like today, I've literally been up and down my local area, as in like the Croydon borough, and I wish I could just do that in a flash. Like, but does that answer your question? Yeah. It does.
And just for the people at home, like, remind me again, who do you work for and what do you do? Like you mentioned, you work in sales, but like who and what you're selling?
Yeah. So what I do is my company is a research and development tax specialist, and my role in business development is to introduce them to business owners or accountancy firms that don't offer R&D tax relief advice. So the idea is that I will identify maybe a particular industry that's rich in R&D, like manufacturing, for example, and I'll reach out to some local firms, find out if they are aware of the scheme, and if they're not, I will introduce them to our technical team, who can basically find if they're eligible or not. It sounds quite a very quick and easy process, but it really isn't. It takes time. You're building relationships. If someone told you I can get you an average of £50,000 off your corporation tax bill, you'd be like, what are you talking about? You know.
Yep, I'd ask you what kind of dodgy stuff are you doing, but R&D tax credits are completely. So yeah.
So
it's cool. And Nick, same question to you: super speed or super intelligence? What would be more useful in your role?
Well, you see, I'm going to be a bit of a smart ass here.
Okay.
I already have one. I just need the other, so I'm going for super speed.
Very good, very good. And for the ladies and gentlemen at home, could you explain to us, who do you work for? What is your role, by the way?
Yeah, so I'm the head of customer engagement for Giganet. Who are they? What are they? So they're a telecoms company, and they specialise in fibre optic broadband. So we are laying the foundations of putting our own sort of stuff in the road as we speak, and we're connecting loads of houses to fibre optic broadband, proper fibre optic broadband in the south of the country at the moment.
Cool. So when there's loads of traffic works, roadworks and delays, we can blame Giganet, right? Because you guys have been digging up the roads.
It's possible.
Sorry, man. I shouldn't put you on the spot. That was me. Your boss might be watching this right now. It's like, how does he handle that question?
It's possible, but for the benefit of the long-term future of the people.
Oh, for sure. We all need broadband. The broadband in rural areas is atrocious, and it's it's kind of the future. So no, it's good work. It's good work. Random question: do you reckon Giganet have had R&D tax claims? Because I can imagine that's a very big research and development area. Or am I just?
Next question. I don't know. You'd have to speak to to the main man. And
again, another question for you both. Does your employer, do they know that you're into kind of like superhero fandom, comic book stuff?
Yeah, everybody does. When I meet people, like, pretty much the second thing is I like Batman after I've told them I've got kids, right? So, plus I do all the company's inductions as well, and one of the things that I do during the induction is tell them a little bit about me, and that always involves I'm a huge geek. I have a 30-year Batman run, so that kind of stuff. So they all know. I own it. I love it.
How about you, Dwayne? Is it something you broadcast? Are your colleagues, employees aware of it, or
not really? I mean, I was, should I say, employed remotely, so I still haven't met the entire team. I just know from posts that both me and my director have an interest in Star Wars, but I haven't actually asked about anything else outside of that. But yeah,
fair enough. And do you guys think that the advent of comic books and superhero films becoming more more mainstream, do you think that's actually had an impact on the world of work from your perspective or in general?
Don't know. Do you want to go first, Dwayne?
To be honest, my mind is just drawn a blank. So give me.
I'll give you an opinion. So do I think it's changed the world? Yes. Do I think it's changed the world of work? Only if you're in a relevant industry. I'll tell you what I do think it has done now. I think that it's that mainstream now that it is a standard topic of conversation, to the point where two random blokes might want to speak to me on social media about whether or not I think that it has affected the universe. And that is not something we would have done 20 years ago. So do I think it's changed the world? It's far more acceptable now for me to bring up the weather, my favourite football team, and who my favourite superhero is now than it was then. And I think it is a norm. It's like number one in pop culture, right? I mean, you look at superheroes and you look at the movie industry, which does affect everything in the world, I guess, to a degree. The movie industry is dominated by the things that we grew up on and loved as kids. And so in that way it has. And even, I think, television now, and you look at Boys and Umbrella Academy and all the Marvel stuff and DC shows. So it kind of rules our social lives, which impacts the work lives, but I guess particularly if you work in the industry. But the industry's grown so much that it's got to affect the workplace, right, to a degree.
That was an awesome answer, and also kudos for making it meta and bringing us back into the answer. That was dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing to add. That was it.
Now, Dwayne, I also know that you also a bit more of an anime fan. Do you have a favorite manga or anime?
I have many. At the moment, Hero Academia is my go-to at the moment. I love it. And I love if anyone watches that, I like Endeavor. I know All Might has retired. I'm going too much into detail.
No, it's cool. But
my son has told me to watch it. So I've got a 19-year-old lad, and he just keeps going on to me. You have to watch My Hero Academia. You have to watch it. And he said, like, season 1 is in English, but you can get seasons 2 to 5 in subtitles, apparently. So it is on my watch list, and he keeps going on about it. Yeah.
No, I recommend it. And Dwayne, would you mind giving everyone who doesn't know what it is, like a very, very brief summary of the plot or synopsis?
So it's a world where majority of the human population are born with quirks, so special abilities. I mean, not every quirk is great. Some people, like one girl is like a frog. You've got a guy that can shoot like explosions out of his hands using his sweat. And then the main character is a boy called Deku, who has no quirks. But idolizes one of the main heroes called All Might, and upon being saved by All Might, finds out his secret that All Might actually has a power that was passed on to him, which is called I always say All for One. No, one for all. Yeah, one for all. And he passes that power on to Deku. And one for all is like, obviously, it gives him super strength, more strength than his body can handle. So when he first uses it and actually punches this massive robot and literally just blasts it to smithereens, his whole arm is like just about to say Brock up, but it gets it gets.
You could say Brock up. That's fine.
Yeah, it gets Brock up. Yeah, it gets smash up, and he has to get it fixed. So he learns to control it and use like 5%, 10% of it. And I won't ramble on because I literally love it to pieces, and we don't have enough time for me to go off on one. But
actually, you just reminded me of something. Actually, I'm going to randomly bring it up because that's how I roll. But just with Dwayne saying like not all the superpowers or not all the quirks are like good powers, right? So my eldest son plays this game with his mates, right? And they have to say what superpower they'd like, and then the friend has to tell them what forfeit they'd have to pay for having that power, right? So I'll give you an example. So you can run incredibly fast, but you can only do it when you're naked. or you can mind control someone, but only if you do what they're doing as well. So like, I thought it was quite a cool game. So like, I was just trying to think, like, you can fly, but only if you're wearing tights. Only tights.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I play a similar game with my friends. So like, not all forfeits, but we think of powers that would be helpful but not overpowerful. So like one of them we came up with is the ability to have someone else forget where they put their keys for 2 minutes. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't become a superhero with that, but it could get you out of a jam. Like someone's mugging you, you'd be like, and then they forget. You know that sensation where you can't find your stuff. If you could cast that on people for like 2 minutes, it would get you out of trouble, but it wouldn't be like life changing. It wouldn't be, yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. We've got time for me to tell you a funny, like 1 minute story.
Please do.
Okay. So like I'm kind of ripping myself here, but one year we went away with the lads. Like we're talking 15 years ago, right? And my surname's Smethurst, right? No one can say it. Everyone's like, is it Smethurst? Is it Smethurst? Is it like? So anyway, so we're away with the lads, and like there's a lady behind the hotel. It's in Spain somewhere, and she's calling out all our names, saying, you know, Walton, Stevens, and then they get to mine, and the woman in a Spanish accent, she goes, "Smell stress." And I'm like, right, that's not going to be anyone else but me, right? I'm going to be smell stress. So for the rest of that holiday, and to this day, some of my pals still call me smell stress, the most useless superpower ever. You can smell someone's stress. Because of this Spanish woman, they called me smell stress instead of Smethurst. Anyway, there you go. That's
now the salesperson in me thinks that'd actually be a very useful power. Because like, you're like if you're talking to someone and you don't there's a fine line between validating a lead or a client or a customer, or if you're an account manager, sensing someone's mental state. If you could smell how stressed they were, you know when to like actively back off. And I know there's skills that we all learn, the social skills, and we all apply them. But in a sales capacity, I can only imagine that would be amazing. But
yeah, but they're not doing a comic about you, are you? Do you know what I mean? You're not that good. I can smell the public are stressed, and do you know what I mean? They're not going to do that, are they? And Batman's coming along going, "Thanks, smell master." It's not going to happen, is it?
Sorry, I need to do a shout out. First of all, hello, Monowara. Thank you for joining us. And also, David Proud asked us where is it available, which I think he's referring to My Hero Academia. So, Dwayne, where can someone watch that?
You can watch the first season on Netflix, or if you've got Crunchyroll, you can stream obviously it from scratch, but it's in subtitles. Or if you like to read manga, you've got a few apps that you can download where you can just obviously read the manga. I prefer the manga. I prefer the manga all the time in regards to all the animes that I watch. But Hero Academia actually do the manga justice. So because it's all about the shockwaves, the power moves, and they really do animate it beautifully. So you're in for a treat if you're gonna
I'm just going to jump on the back of that and ask for some promo. Netflix, Crunchyroll, if you ever see this, if you want to sponsor me or endorse this show in some way, then go for it. I'm up for endorsements. Ding. Sorry, that was lame. Like, I love how you both like readily agreed. You're like, yeah, that was lame.
Hi, I'm Dale. You could, yeah, go on.
That's cool. Do either of you guys have opinions on the Disney takeover of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
So far, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with it. It's like Jay-Z. It's like literally just bangers every month. What if it's happening now? But Captain America and oh gosh, I'm like losing my whole chain of thought. Since they've taken over, it's just been non-stop. And I'm quite happy.
I think it's good. I think everything's kind of been on pause since the end of Infinity War, but the new Spidey, you've both seen. You've both like awesome, and it's going to kickstart the next big bad, which they're kind of indicating it's going to be Kang, right? So that's kind of exciting. So I think the new Spidey is going to be great. The Doctor Strange that's going to be connected is going to be great, and I think we're going to be interesting to see what they do. But anyway, the question was, is it in good hands? Yeah, I think it is. I think you've got people with money, with clearly great creativity going on, and that can only be good for Marvel, I think.
Okay. Because I know some people are apprehensive about big companies taking control. So Disney is a massive company conglomerate, the likes of Facebook and Google. Next question: which company, in your opinion, is most like a superhero comic evil organization? So you guys mentioned stuff like LexCorp and Norman Osborn. Do you think there are any parallels to companies that we see today? They'd be like, actually, you know what? They're doing some insidious stuff, some Skynet-esque stuff.
Don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, this video will self-destruct in what?
Yeah, just get shut down.
Yeah, so suddenly goes. Right, that's it.
Oh wait, we've got a private number calling. No.
There's men in suits outside my house. What? Like...
Do you know? I was thinking about, because this is the only question that that really is drawing a. When I mean drawing a blank, I mean I've got something in my head, and I probably would say like one of the big banks. Yeah, I would say one of the big banks. I won't say a name, but got a lot of influence, and that's what I'm going to say. Oh gosh, I just got a vibration. What's going on?
It's probably that bank. Like
it's just a WhatsApp
to zero.
Just a WhatsApp group. It's okay. It's all right.
All right. How about you, Nick? Any organizations or sectors that come to mind that you think, ooh, a little bit insidious?
It depends what you mean, because if they're that good at it, right, it's a front. So we're not going to know, right? It's the rubbish ones that get found out. But if I was to talk about who could potentially accidentally create the AI that is Skynet, for example, then I think I look at Elon Musk, and I think he's doing a lot of good in the world, but then I'm aware that he's creating optical biological optical machine sort of amalgamations that so we're on our way to creating the cyborg dude, right? So at what point can Elon transfer his mind into that dude? I don't know, but in fairness, what I will say, I think I actually quite like him. Actually, I don't normally shout out to the powerful dudes, but I think the things that he's doing are actually he is trying to stop fossil fuels being used. Right, he's trying to help the world, and he is trying to help people born, with certain conditions. So he is trying to do the right thing, but things can go wrong, right? And before we know it, huge 6'3" guy, sunglasses, asking, "Is Sarah Connor in?" You know, and then yeah.
All right, then that's cool. Sorry, I love the answers you guys give. Like you take the questions a level that I wouldn't even think of doing. So I appreciate it. One thing that came up on LinkedIn recently, I know it's come up over the last couple of months in terms of lockdown and Zoom call etiquette and attire. You know, what should you wear? What shouldn't you wear? And it got me thinking, who would you say is the best dressed superhero? And do you think their attire would be appropriate for a Zoom call if they were in industry? And I don't want any cheat answers where you go, yeah, well, Batman wears a suit when he's Bruce Wayne. I don't want none of that.
Okay, so best dressed in uniform, right?
Yeah, in uniform, yeah.
Okay. Who's got the coolest outfit? I'll tell you who I think has got one of the coolest outfits actually. And is he a villain? Is he a goodie? He's kind of anti-hero. I really like Deathstroke's orange and blue half outfit. I always thought that was a mega sort of cool, you know, the chainmail on one arm, the orange and black, and the half face. I always thought he was a very well-dressed anti-hero. So I always thought he was very good.
No, definitely. I agree. He's got a very cool... Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm still
trying to think of his real name. Is it Wade?
It's Wade Wilson.
There you go, Wade Wilson. And Deadpool is a parody of him, right? Wade Wilson? No.
Yeah, Slade. Is it Wade or Slade? Deadpool. What's Deadpool called? It's Slade, isn't it?
No. Deathstroke is Slade, and
Deathstroke is Slade. Sorry, Deadpool. Yes.
Yeah.
I always thought Deadpool was a bit of a rip-off of Deathstroke, right? He came first.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. I think it's Marvel taking the mick because he even has the dual swords as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dwayne, are you still thinking?
Yeah, because every person I'm thinking about it's just a cheat. Like literally everyone. What
about best dressed female then, Dwayne?
See, now that is a controversial topic in and of itself, and I'm going to go there because I'm going to go there because right, it is kind of related to work as well, because I've seen posts about women being harassed on LinkedIn and blah 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 blah, and people getting banned and not banned, all that kind of stuff. But one of the issues in comic books is the unrealistic representation of women and superheroes and their figure and their outfits.
You get the same with guys, right? Every single superhero is like that. I mean, like they can't fit through doors, any of them. There's no skinny ones, or you know, there's nobody with weight issues at all, is there, in the superhero world, male or female?
No, yeah, you're right. But generally speaking, like the women's clothing is also ridiculously way more revealing and not even practical. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the issues, I think.
God, did I do this on this call? Did I begin this?
No, I started it by asking you, who do you think would be the best dressed?
I'm going to go with Gambit.
Well done.
No, that's cool with the trench coat and the kind of body.
The trench coat. Yeah. I'm not too sure. Like, cause I remember I bought what should I say? My mum got me the Gambit character. I didn't get it with my own money, and when I actually took the trench coat off, I was like, "What's up with the rest of the uniform underneath? He literally looks like he could be flying." The way it's put together, like he might as well just had a shirt and trousers on.
Yeah, it's cool. Is it Remy LeBeau?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was always cool. He had. I remember reading the X-Men comics. Him and Rogue had a thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still going on because I haven't read X-Men for years.
Yeah. No, his best moment for me was when he literally got flung by a gladiator, and like I think the impact just literally I'm not going to say broke him up, but he was literally spouting blood, and the gladiator's coming at him. Obviously, like it's in comic books, so he's flying like that, and then Gambit gets his whole decks, like literally just gives him the whole deck, like, but he does it in that sort of like
Yeah,
and it literally goes in back, and I was just like, wow, how come? That is sick. Anyway,
he is kind of cool. There is a question of whether or not he's actually a baddie, though. There's been lots of things over the years that have indicated he's here to actually do harm. But I've read quite a few things where he's got a very, very, very dark side, and that he's a lot more powerful than he lets on.
This is Gambit, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't remember where I read it, but I remember there was a storyline where like Mr. Sinister had operated on him as a kid and actually nerfed his powers, right? So the Gambit we see in the 90s and 2000s is actually like really weak. And in the storyline, I can't remember what happens, but like a part of his brainstem grows back and it accesses his full powers. So yeah, he's actually like insanely powerful. Like he's actually like is it Omega level? That's it, Omega level. But he's not. Yeah, he's been nerfed a little bit.
Do you know who the most powerful Marvel character is?
Sentry, right?
Yeah. Is that the guy that is Mr. Fantastic?
Howard the Duck.
No,
Franklin.
No, because I researched it. Right, I was researching who is the most powerful Marvel character, and he's called something Richards. It's
Franklin Richards. Yes.
Franklin Richards is officially, according to Marvel, the most powerful, as in more than the Beyonder, more than Galactus, more than all of them. He is the hardest of all. Officially, like Google it. It's on. I've read it on Marvel that they've actually said he is the most powerful being in the Marvel universe.
Fair enough. So I just have to give shout out to people who are actually commenting. So again, David was talking about the body image thing. He said that's more of an image back in the day in the 90s, and apparently we're making Angela Bates laugh a lot, like kids on the playground talking about comic books. So let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to reality. For both of you, I know you're relatively active on LinkedIn and networking in general outside LinkedIn. Who in your network do you view as a superhero? Again, to you respectively.
I would say Eloise Idwan. And the reason why I say that is because I connected with her, I think just over a year ago. And she's just literally, how would I describe it? You know, she's grown a network in such a short space of time, organically, none of that fake sort of shizzle that people do. And yeah, how to put it, you know, when, like you, Del, we haven't met in real person, in real life, but yeah, you know, I feel like I know you. If I saw you on the street, it wouldn't be weird. I mean, would it? Would it be weird? But
only if you make it weird, Dwayne. Like if
I'm not gonna make it weird. I'm not gonna make it weird, you know?
But now he just has. Now it is weird.
But in fact, I was speaking to her today actually. But yeah, like she's just grown from strength to strength. Like I'm probably not even referencing how she's like a superhero to me, but I mean she's just one of the characters on LinkedIn. Should I say that? That I'm like, yeah, man, she's good people, and she's doing well. She's driven. Anyway, let me stop bigging her up. But yeah, she's a nice person, really nice person.
Same question to you, Nick. Who in your network do you view as a superhero? You can't say yourself.
No, I don't see myself. I see myself
I'm teasing.
as an entertainment system to the real talent on LinkedIn. Probably Chris Branch, I would suggest, actually. So I'll make sure he watches this later if he's not watching now. But I just have an immense amount of respect for what he's done with Seed to Branch and his new business, Seederly, and how he has grown naturally his own following on there. He's spent a bit of time teaching me a couple of tips of the trade as well. But I think as a marketer, I just think he's superb, and he really, really has done very well with his team, engaging people. I think they're consistent. So I think as far as LinkedIn's concerned, I comment more on their posts than anybody else, and that is because I think that they are consistently brilliant. I enjoy the material on there, and yeah, I think Chris has done a great job. So you owe me another pint, Chris.
Okay, follow-up question: who in your LinkedIn network can you see or envision being in a Marvel or DC film?
I'm gonna keep this in the family and say actually my twin brother, if I can say that. Yes, I'm a twin, but we don't look alike at all. Yeah, my brother, I would say he's he's a personal trainer, or should I say he more focuses on well-being, and yeah, he's oh gosh, how do I say it? He's got the superhero look going on. Like if he went to a fancy dress and he was to put on anything, he would look the part. I would literally just be like a pot belly with my dad bod. I think I dressed up like a Power Ranger once, and it just looked wrong. It just looked absolutely wrong. And yeah.
Which one were you? The pink one?
No, I was with the Power Racks. I was the Black Ranger.
Just to put out, Angela Bates put me ! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! So yeah, again, thanks for joining. That's hilarious. And how about you, Nick? Who in your LinkedIn profile can you see in a Marvel or DC film?
So I think thinking about it in the comic book format, who is always positive, who is always happy. So I think Julieta Alfonso, if you follow her at all, she is always in high spirits. She's always looking out for other people. She's a physio as well, and she's dealing with a lot of people in pain. And I think that she would work quite well in the superhero world.
Cool. And also, I've taken my time to look at people through my network, and I'm gonna answer my own question. So the first question was, who do I view as a superhero in my network? And because I'm the host, I get to share my screen. So I'm gonna share my screen and show you this person's profile because they're very, very cool, in my opinion. So the first one is Martin Wiskin, right? He is just a really cool, awesome guy. He has tons of energy. His content is amazing. He's a voiceover artist, but as you can see, I don't know if I can zoom in on his profile, but he also puts his whole energy into what he does. You can see his face there on the screen. Yeah, he is just a superhero, in my opinion. He's one of those guys that just uplifts everybody. He's prolific in the networking and an all-round nice guy. And I think that is a fantastic trait to have. And then to answer my own second question, I didn't do as deep thought as you guys have done. I just did it based on looks and appearance, which is very shallow of me. So I'm going to say the person I think who would be best in a Marvel film, just based on appearance, is Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know if you guys know him at all, but he is considered the singing accountant. And look, man, he looks dope in a suit. Like, the man looks good. Can't deny it. So yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, if you see this at some point, man, you're a cool guy, and I can see you being in a Hollywood production.
I thought before you went up to the picture that you said Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, but he's actually really famous. He's actually
he's already famous. Yeah,
you're nowhere near as cool as I thought you were. That you didn't know that, but it's okay. It was Lawrence Fishburne.
It was Lawrence.
I'm sorry, Lawrence Fishburne, and Lawrence Fishburne. I
tell you, I had a few conversations with him. He has been called Lawrence Fishburne before, and obviously he's not Lawrence Fishburne. So,
well, how do you know he's not Lawrence Fishburne?
Oh, you think I'm being catfished by Lawrence Fishburne on LinkedIn?
Well, no, but like maybe the Lawrence Fishburne, like in the Matrix kind of stuff, is actually real, and maybe none of it's real, and maybe Lawrence Fishburne is Lawrence Fishburne.
Hey, maybe none of us are real, and reality is just a concept, not a construct.
I've never seen your legs, in fairness, Dale.
I don't have any.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, when you were talking about bumping into Dwayne in the street, I wanted to say to Dwayne that Dale is actually just a bot. But if you've noticed, Dale's had the same smile, and he goes back to the same look, and then back to the same smile, and he rocks his head in the same way. He's actually just a bot.
He's actually doing it now.
Yeah, he's doing it now. And his real name is actually Catherine Jenkinson. So...
Thank you for that, Nick. I genuinely appreciate it. Just to give a shout out as well, Andrew Ward has entered the chat. I feel kind of bad now because Andrew's also a pretty cool guy, and I didn't shout him out as a superhero. Sorry, Andrew. Maybe next time. I just made it awkward, didn't I?
Yeah, you're really good at doing that. Actually, you've made Dwayne feel awkward as well. You know,
it's a skill. Why can't I make you feel awkward, Nick? Is that your superpower?
Because I had that valve removed, right, where I don't get humiliated or embarrassed by anything. And you know, I've obviously had various problems in various workplaces because of it. It's ended relationships, but it's also, you know, it's good for dad jokes, right?
It's awesome for dad jokes. I would argue
Dad joke
you were like a dad joke king in terms of puns. And I generally, I'm grateful that you share them on LinkedIn, because I know there's a lot of topic and debate about it being a professional platform and all that kind of stuff. But we're not robots, despite what you might think of me. We're not robots. And
no, me and Dwayne are not robots. You are.
Dwayne and I. No, I don't know. I don't know if that's getting or not. I don't know if that's actually correct. But no, it's good to like, you know, bring a little bit of personality and humor to these things. So I think it's really cool. And likewise, Dwayne, I know you do the same thing, like meeting you at different networking events on Zoom and stuff like that. You're just a good guy, great conversation. Yeah, it's nice to meet real people doing real things.
Definitely. And wings.
Things and wings. On that note, I've said something very nice. We're all smiling. You've laughed. I think it's a good time to end this live stream. So I want to say thank you for everyone who's joined us, who's commented on the chat. So David Proud, Angela Bates, Andrew Ward, Monowara, sorry, I mispronounced your name. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's been fun. Hope you found this insightful, entertaining. And shout out, I will be doing another one, and it will have a new name. Thanks to Nick. He came up with a ridiculous name for this stream.
What was it? Can you remember?
I wrote it down because I knew you'd ask me. Flabonga Monthrothacube.
Very good. That was the word we created.
Flabomba Monthrothacube. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get people on a show called that on a weekly basis, where we will talk not to superheroes, but you know, just generally business, ask you about what's going on in your life, any insights, market insights you want to share, and I know I'll do it in a jovial / Dale weird, insightful way. Hopefully, yeah.
I think you have to show your legs at some point, by the way, on a video to show that you're not actually a bot.
The reason why I don't show my legs is because I'm naked from the waist down.